Coming up on KGN Caribbean News, officials made an arrest in the case of 11-year-old Adrianna Younge. Plus, gang violence escalates in Haiti, forcing families to flee as chaos spreads. A United States judge orders Antigua's prime minister to release financial records in a $40 million yacht scandal. All this and more right now on KGN Caribbean News. Welcome to KGN Caribbean News. I'm Karesha Graham. Our top stories this week. The investigation into the death of 11-year-old Adrianna Younge at Doubleday Hotel is intensifying as Guyanese authorities work to answer the nation's calls for justice. Adrianna was found dead in the pool at the hotel last week. Her disappearance and tragic death triggered a day of protest and even some looting in the community as residents demanded answers and justice. Authorities have since arrested the hotel owner along with several staff members. The case has also put law enforcement under the spotlight. Three police officers are now under close arrest, and the divisional commander has been placed on administrative leave as the investigation continues. President Ifran Ali has promised a full and transparent investigation. An independent pathologist selected by Adrianna's family is now assisting with the autopsy as officials continue their search for answers and accountability in this heartbreaking case. Violence in Haiti has reached a new peak this week, with gangs launching another wave of deadly attacks in Port-au-Prince. Neighborhoods that were once safe are now battlegrounds as gunmen targeted police, soldiers, and civilians, leaving at least 8 people dead. The government says it's stepping up efforts to push gangs back, but the situation on the ground is increasingly unstable, with more residents forced to flee their homes. The Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse is reminding the public that all reports made to the unit are kept confidential. According to officials, the details of each case are not disclosed outside the investigation, and victims' identities remain protected throughout the process.
When you come to Sissoko, it's privacy. We consider all the possibilities to ensure that you are not thinking about whether or not the situation will go back to the community. You feel at ease, the persons there are professionals. So we'll continue to do the work that we are doing.
Sissoko officers are trained to handle sensitive cases and provide support to victims. The unit reports that private interviews are conducted and case files are secured, with access limited to authorized personnel. Officials say these measures are in place to encourage more individuals to report incidents without fear of exposure in their community. Two members of Jamaica's judiciary have moved into higher roles. Tracy Johnson is now serving as a Supreme Court judge, while Christine McNeil has been appointed as Master in Chambers. The appointments are part of a continued push to strengthen the island's justice system. Immigration authorities in the Bahamas say they have apprehended more than 100 foreign nationals during a series of operations earlier this month. Most of those detained are believed to be Haitian, with others coming from several countries, including Jamaica and Turkey. Officials report that arrests were made for violations such as entering the country illegally, overstaying visas, and using false documents. All individuals are now in custody at the Carmichael Road Detention Center, where investigations are underway. The department is urging the public to report any suspected breaches of immigration law. Calls for change are growing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where hundreds have added their names to a petition urging the health minister to step down. The demand comes after reports surfaced that a lack of vital medications in public hospitals has contributed to multiple patient deaths within the past week. The incident has sparked renewed debate about the reliability of the nation's healthcare system, with many residents pressing leaders to quickly resolve the shortages and prevent further tragedy. Kitts and Nevis is doubling down on efforts to ease the impacts of rising prices, with the National Cost of Leveling Task Force, led by Cabinet Secretary Dr. Marcus Natta, rolling out new strategies for relief. That includes a VAT holiday, which temporarily lowers the value added tax from 17 to 13% for the first half of 2025. The goal is to make everyday essentials like food and fuel more affordable. Alongside this, the government is offering monthly financial support to low income families and pushing for stronger local food production. Travelers between the Caribbean and West Africa could soon have a much easier journey, thanks to a major agreement just signed by Trinidad and Tobago and Nigeria. After years in the making, both countries have now formalized plans to allow direct flights between Port of Spain and Lagos, paving the way for closer business, tourism, and cultural ties. Government leaders from both nations say the new air link will cut travel time from nearly a full day down to just a few hours. And they hope the route will position Trinidad and Tobago as a gateway between the Caribbean and Africa. While airlines have yet to announce official flight schedules, officials are confident this historic move will open new doors for trade and people to people connections on both sides of the Atlantic. Police arrested a Ghanaian woman on April 13 at Maurice Bishop International Airport, accusing her of being a central figure in the Creators Alliance scheme, which promised easy cash for watching videos and recruiting others. She is now facing money laundering charges and appeared in court on April 18th, where she was denied bail and returned to Richmond Hill Prison. Investigators say she helped manage the scheme's finances and warned members against reporting to police. Authorities are still urging anyone affected to come forward as the case remains active and more victims may be involved. Barbados is seeing a major political change as voters get ready for a by-election in St. James North. Following the sudden resignation of longtime MP Edmund Hinkson, the Barbados Labour Party quickly put forward Senator Chad Blackman to contest the seat, with the election now set for late May. This shakeup comes as national attention is focused on the St. James North race, which is expected to set the tone for local politics in the months ahead. Authorities in the United States are taking a closer look at Antigua and Barbuda's handling of a multi-million-dollar yacht sale. This all started last year when the Antiguan government seized the luxury vessel Alpha Nero. Previously linked to a sanctioned Russian billionaire, the yacht was auctioned off for $40 million, but soon after the sale came under fire from the billionaire's family, who argued the process wasn't transparent. Now the story has taken a new turn. A federal judge has just ordered the release of Prime Minister Gaston Brown's financial records along with documents from his wife and other government officials. Investigators are hoping to track how the proceeds from the sale were used amid questions about whether proper procedures were followed. The government insists the money went towards paying off public debt, but with the new court order, the financial dealings are being examined. Legal experts say this could just be the beginning, as information is set to come out in the days ahead. The Caribbean entertainment scene is alive with big events, fresh releases, and new celebrations across the islands. Dancehall artist Alkaline performed in London last week at the New Rules Festival, where he wore his well-known black contact lenses on stage. The return of his signature black-eyed look was a noticeable part of his performance, bringing back a style that first got people's attention early in his career. Alkaline's performance in the UK is part of his ongoing influence in dancehall music, and his bold look continues to stand out wherever he performs. Meanwhile, in Jamaica, reggae is in the spotlight again, with Ky-Mani Marley's new single gaining traction ahead of his full album release this summer. Other artists across the islands are making headlines as well. It was a Caribbean takeover on Kaishanet's live stream as dancehall royalty Spice and Vybz Kartel brought the heat to one of the world's biggest online audiences. Fans tuned in by the thousands as Spice and Vybz Kartel linked up with Kai Cenat for an unfiltered, high-energy chat that had the internet talking. The moment quickly went viral, ranking up millions of views and once again proving the global power of Jamaican music and culture. Jamaica has once again finished on top at the 2025 CARIFTA Games, claiming the championship title for the 39th year in a row. The team picked up 78 medals, including 30 golds, solidifying their dominance in Caribbean junior athletics. Young standout Kamari Kennedy made history with record-breaking throws in both the shot put and discus, earning the Austin Seeley Award for Most Outstanding Athlete. Host nation Trinidad and Tobago also impressed on home soil, earning multiple podium finishes in field and distance events. The games brought together top young talent from 28 countries across the region, highlighting the Caribbean's next generation of track and field stars. That's it for this week's edition of KGN Caribbean News. I'm Karesha Graham. See you next week right here where vibes meets truth on every island will eventually get the spotlight.